Hello, Michael. Hope you're doing well. I noticed that you weren't in class today for the first day of Fusion, and I thought I had pressed the record button on the class, but it for some reason didn't work. So I'm just gonna make another video, and we'll talk about Fusion. So Fusion's a pretty great program. Get to be more and more fan of Fusion for sure, and I'll explain why that is in a minute. But let's just go over D2L briefly. So I'm going to use D2L a little bit differently than I did this past half of the semester. So instead of sending you guys an email every day, I'm just going to put in the announcements right here. I'm going to put the class day, the date for the class, and then the instructions for that class. Just like I did in the email before, it'll be right here. So then when you come in, you can see all of the classes kind of laid out chronologically without having to go through your email. And so there's a first day announcement down here, which directs you to the content tab, which has the syllabus in it. And then today's assignment, which just has a video that I'm going to have you watch. It's pretty cool video on a CNC machining project where they use Fusion 360 to create a watch or a watch band. It's pretty awesome. We're going to do it the same way though. So you'll look and see the directions in here. It'll probably direct you to assignments. There are no assignments yet, but you can just like the previous class, you can go through the assignments. Oops, do that here. And then, yeah, so it'll give you some directions there. So today, I'm just going to have you watch this for homework, basically. But right now, I'll open Fusion 360 and give you a little kind of tour of what this looks like and how it's different than the other softwares that we've used. So Fusion is completely online. It's not like you download a huge program like you do with Inventor or SolidWorks, and it lives on your computer and you save files on your computer. This is all on the cloud, and so this little waffle up here is called the data panel. And this is actually where all of your work lives. So you'll create new folders for yourself in the data panel. So your home screen will kind of look like this, and then you'll create a new folder for yourself for your work. It comes with some samples, so some basic training, some CAD or CAM samples. CAM stands for Computer Aided Machining. In that video that you're going to watch that's on D2L, they're actually using Fusion as CAM software. So I'll describe what that means briefly here in a minute. But mostly, you're just going to be going to, this is going to be where you store your stuff. But as you can see, I've got a bunch of work saved in here. I've also got some subfolders for different stuff. And then you open from here, so you can double click, and then it opens over here in the graphics area, and then you close your data panel, and then you're left with your work in here. So pretty similar layout to SolidWorks and Inventor. You've got your ribbon toolbar up here. You got your sketches, your extrusions. It's based off of SolidWorks and Inventor. So you're going to sketch and draw the same way. When we get to assemblies are really different. That's going to take some learning, basically. But that'll be a little bit further down the road. Over here, we're mostly going to be doing work in design, in the design tab here. But it also has this thing called generative design, which is kind of the way the short description of it is artificial intelligence for CAD. So it's the way CAD is going with generative design. It's beyond the scope of this course, but we'll be talking about it anyway because it's pretty important. Rendering is like creating photorealistic models or adding photorealism to your models. Animation, you can create little videos of how your assemblies kind of explode apart or work, you know, as a unit. Simulation is applying forces and loads and stuff like that to see how your parts can stand up to different forces. And then this is CAM. So if you're a machinist, you'll know what CAM is, but when we draw a model that we want to use or that we want to have manufactured on a CNC mill or lathe, what we then need to do is to create tool paths for how those tools are going to cut a piece of aluminum or whatever material. CAM has not traditionally been included inside of a CAD software, but Fusion was one of the first ones that did include CAM software inside CAD, their CAD system. So it's pretty cool. That's why a lot of companies have transitioned over to using it. It's a really, really simple, very good CAM software. That also is beyond the scope of our class, but in the video that you're going to watch today, you're going to see them using CAM. So they're going to model their part, then they'll switch over and they'll start adding tools and tool paths, and then they'll put a big hunk of metal in the machine and it'll cut it out. So that's a little background on that. And then drawings, we're going to be using drawings. So that's just creating paper drawings that you can print. That we've done before, so it's pretty cool. And then this is the design tree. So here's similar to other stuff, you know, sketches and features and stuff like that. There's your manager right there. But it's, you know, it's different enough in a lot of ways that it takes some specific practice and specific uses to get fluent with it. So it's a pretty great program. It's very worthwhile. There's a lot of companies that are switching over to Fusion because it's cheap. It's basically free if you're not a company. If you're an individual user using it to build furniture in your garage, it's free. You just sign up, tell them you're not making money with it, and you can download it for free. If you're a student, it's free. For a company that is making money with it, it's very cheap. It's $1,000, like maybe. But very economical, and so it's very approachable for a lot of folks. So yeah, so there's a quick tour of Fusion. We're then gonna look at Solid Professor. Solid Professor also has classes for Fusion. So here's your CAD 246 class that you can join. When we go into the library, certification, it's going to look really similar to what we've done before with some different parts. You're going to be modeling some new parts, which is good. And then, yeah, so that's the basic workflow for this semester. Really similar to the last semester. Total asynchronous. I'll post assignment due dates will be, you know, late night on Sundays of that week, later that week. And if you need extensions, just let me know. If you have problems, you know, I'll be around for you to call, text, email, or come in. Coming in is great too. And yeah, should be a good semester. The workflow is going to be really similar to the last semester. Let's see if I can. Scroll down. So we're basically going to do intro next week, part modeling in week 2, creating 3D models, using assemblies in week 3 or 4, creating drawings, final projects. This is a rough outline of the stuff we'll be doing. So it's a similar workflow to Inventor. So, all right, if you have any questions, let me know, and should be a fun remaining part of the semester. So yeah, and also let me know if you have any specific projects that you want to work on. So final project is going to be, again, a little bit, it's going to be open to you, to your input. So if you have something in mind you want to model and it meets the criteria for the final project, let's go ahead and do that. I can give you some ideas for models or for projects too, but usually I prefer students are coming up with stuff on their own because it's a lot more fun, a lot more engaging if you come up with something you want to draw. So, all right, let me know if I can help.